Libyan security sources have confirmed the arrival of French special forces. 180 soldiers have landed in Benina International Airport, just east of Benghazi. The airbase has been under control of forces loyal to the General Khalifa Haftar. In the last few days, they have stepped up their attacks on ISIL and rebel groups in Benghazi. Let's get more on this story with Olivier Guter, who is a security analyst at Global Strat. Thanks for coming into the studio.
My pleasure.
Why are the special forces there and what are they going to be doing?
Look, the French have been taking the lead on Libya and warning people about the danger. They've been allegedly going back and forth since January 2014, mostly in the south, to root out Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb and Al-Murabitun. Now, with the emergence of Islamic State as a major threat, the French think that they have to support General Haftar because he's the only player and the only one that could really root out Islamic State while we may be waiting for a Western military intervention in the next few months. So the French are taking the lead with sending their special forces to help him as much as they can.
And of course, the French do have previous military activity in Libya.
Yes, very much so. I mean, Sarkozy with Cameron were the two leaders that pushed for the demise of Colonel Gaddafi. But at the same time, the French understand that Libya is a much more bigger threat to them than Syria and Iraq. And that's why we've seen France taking the lead and saying, look, we cannot allow Islamic State to take over Libya, because then it means that our allies in the region, namely Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco, are on the brink of potentially falling, but also Libya is just 300 kilometers from Italy, and we could have attacks from there, but also the refugees issue. So it has all the hallmarks of a perfect storm against Europe, and that's why Europeans are talking about it.
And a lot of analysts are saying that Europeans and indeed the Americans haven't been worried enough about what has been happening in Libya. They've been so concerned about what's been happening in Syria and Iraq that Libya has become the sort of forgotten crisis of the Middle East.
Yes and no, because we've seen with the US raid last week on the Islamic State camps that when the Americans have the intel and they have to move fast, they do it. I mean, it was the fourth intervention of the US after Gaddafi's death. But at the same time, what you have in Libya is now a consensus. Even countries such as Canada that are withdrawing from the coalition in Syria and Iraq are saying that they would take part into an operation in Libya were it to be approved.
And just how successful, he's claiming big successes, but just how successful is General Haftar being against ISIL forces? Because that, of course, is just in one area. Right.
For the time being, Haftar has been saying for a while that, he was on the brink of getting Benghazi for the past 18 months. The fact that he got some of the neighborhoods in Benghazi that were mostly controlled by Ansar al-Sharia, even more than Islamic State, are significant, but possibly it was through the help of French material and the French special forces that he got the tipping point to take over some areas of Benghazi. The big question is now, will he go after Islamic State in its headquarters in Sirte?
All right, Olivier Guter, good to get your analysis on that story. Thanks so much for coming in. Thank you.
My pleasure.